look, right now, it's looking pretty good. They're one series away from the playoffs, and maybe, just maybe, they can beat the French here today.
All right, DreamHack Masters Sprint 2021. The final few spots in the playoffs. They're up for grabs, and it has already been a stacked playoff bracket. It's time to put the final cherry on top. And we're getting into, talking of tops, 5 Kevlar tops pop onto the French breast, and 3 charging straight towards middle. It's going to be a T-side stomping, all 5 over the bridge. K-Serato's the one equipped with util, but they will have a very fast flank by virtue of this mid push. He's going as quietly as he could. Neither of them made noise. Yuri is up short though, Chad.
Oh, and they're quick on this flank here. Masuda might find the timing. Speculative shots, they ring out. They've taken down Junior.
It's a big first find, and they know they have to be pushing in. K-Serato tried to defend their honor, but just got caught by more. And look at this flank. It's dreamy. Masuda. Keep going, 3 on the USP. If he can maintain any of the form we saw in that Mirage game or any of the form we saw in that game and series, good grief. Having Masuda as another fragging prong, that's going to be doing wonders into the integration of Kyojin.
Yeah, his aim was looking crispy yesterday on Mirage, right? He was just hitting every single head that was coming his way. And FURIA, just with a fast A play, and I love the term that Yanko used for it, eye candy, right? You know, in terms of all those nades, what you're going to be seeing and what you're going to be hearing isn't always the expectation you should be looking for with FURIA.
They've gone for early B stairs control. This is going to be real luxury, considering it is up against the unarmored Glocks, if you will.
And it is Kyojin over towards B, so we've learnt that immediately here, just filling that role of RPK as you would expect. Shock to take first contact here, Kyojin to mop up.
Yeah, they're looking to bait in. And this worked nicely with the off angle. He's going to get overwhelmed though. So that is an MP9. Shocks was spotted. They know there's another man close.
There's going to be a lot of pressuring over towards this side of the map. And we know that the very fast mid swarms from FURIA are dangerous as well.
Look how threatening this is for just a Glock Eco or some P250s. That incendiary throws out, forces Shocks into a defensive stance. Zywoo's playing safe for info. That's what he was waiting for. Vinny's going to try and pip the gap.
I think it's Shocks with there a little bit.
Oh, he's so smart, is Zywoo. I was watching that nuke clutch he came up with where he was just reading their rotates up between the top site, low site. Good grief, the dude is switched on. And oh, gets his info, dunks a nade on their toes, and does channel them up that short scaff. No one's currently holding that for him. Apex has just now arrived in the nick of time. Great control from Zywoo, all 3 of them. Trying to triple peek, and he doesn't even care.
His MP9 work, right? And this isn't a great example of what I'm about to talk about, but when we've watched him on gun rounds with that MP9 at range, taking fights in yard on nuke and just getting the kills and instantly getting away. We know how good that gun is, but...
Ooh, it's a cone and human race to the bottom of the 52 floors? 52.
Wait, we've been over this.
We have. It was 49? I don't know.
Anyway, numbers.
Wait, we're going to find out on K-Serato's POV or any of these people. 50, so then 51. Okay. Damn, I always had an extra one. Oh, Jury immediately caught. Apex just pre-fight. He unloads his whole mag into that Art one way.
More nades coming in as well. Scuffs up Art there, down to 60.
This is a real rough start for FURIA. This is the first weapon round, Chad, and they're already at a limp.
This is the question with this FURIA roster, right, is if they're unable to get away with all this space on their T side that Art normally produces, where are they going to look to fall back on? Because they don't have the same slow style that everybody else is rocking at the moment.
He's in the same spot Kyojin was against these P250s in the round prior. Obviously with a much better weapon for the job, but he will get early info. And Apex with some aggression here, supported by Zywoo. The smoke will fade to pull him away, and he will get out of dodge in time. FURIA are just gagging for an opening kill here. They want the equalizer without another step taken.
So much info off that jump again. Zywoo calls that out. Molly follows. Now here's the duel with Shocks, and he's not going to convert. Vinny just too quick on the flick.
Yeah, it's good damage. Vinny will drop the smoke B, try and keep him on their toes. There's some eye candy for you, Alam YNK. And it's worked. Oh, god damn, it's worked. The eye candy completely pulls them off the site. And now look, the rotate's in. Yeah, sure, elevators and boost box. If another smoke blooms, that bomb's down, and so is their Doom. Flashing. He wants to fight now. Oh, it's such good timing from Apex. Converted as well by Zywoo's FAMAS. Now difficult for Art. He'd love a plant. It's so clearly coordinated, and they've lost their head as well. Only one. Vinny tagged up from his exchange with Shocks on B. You're not going to plant. You can dream about it, but that is going to be 2 AKs and a third found for Vitality.
Okay, so on back-to-back rounds, I think Zawo's had a 4K and a 3K, so he's looking pretty on 8 kills, having one on the pistol as well there. And this is the scary part. If ZywOo starts out like this, with a FAMAS, with an MP9, wait till he gets the AWP out. Wait till you see the rifles fall into his hands. That's when we really start to get into a bit of a mess for FURIA here.
This was a lovely bit of timing from Apex as well. He could read the game. He knew that they were going for that default plan. Just was to just destabilize around that 30-second mark, as good as a smoke. Yeah,
teams are getting much better now around that A bomb site and knowing when and which fights to take. Ever evolving is Vertigo. Still the newest in the pool, even though we've had it for a very long time.
But you were talking about ZywOo's AWP. I mean, the fact that he's used the MP9, the saved MP9, and now he's saved AK, he really is going to not only nurture a nice bank account, but that AWP is just going to be an eventuality.
And this is just bullets, nades, hammering through the smoke. Art falls. This is the entry prong down immediately. So FURIA scrambling right now, needs an answer. And who's going to fill that fragging role?
It's never a fun situation when your round hinges off of a crazy 1-dig.
But look how they comb. It's together from Crane and Scaff at the same time. Apex spots one, spams, and now the peek's going to come out from the top ledge. Masuda finding another. ZywOo there for even more. And it's just Vinny.
Yeah, I mean, this is a perfect handling of the situation, right? They want 1v1s. You give them 3v1s every single fight. As soon as you start and try to lock and control that deagle click, there's another 2 different angles to be concerned about, and it's no exception here for Vinny. That bomb, even retrieval, is a nightmare. The smoke is up. Now would be the best time, but it's faded, and so will he. The lights in Vinny's eyes fade to black.
It's a bit like a 7-10 split there. They're using a bit of a bowling analogy, right? Because they're clawing in from Scaff and then Crane late at the same time. As you're on the ramp, normally you're expecting to be given, you know, a little bit of, I want to say respect,
sure,
right? You fought them back. You've used your nades. The smokes have faded. Okay, surely they're not going to take these fights. They come in as you're up the ramp. You're ping-ponging left and right. It's hard to call which way you need to be looking.
And so my question now is, do you need to humble the mid and B? Because we've seen they're very trigger happy on the rotates. Do you need to play a little bit of that heroic gap? Oh my God, they're doing it again. The fast mid. This is so punishing to FURIA. If they're doing all these all-ins ramp, they're going to be on the flank like the pistol. Oh, yeah. Broke his legs.
Oh, that's hurt. Junior's heard that.
Very nasty. Masuda previously, very nice and quiet on that ladder descent now. However, he's going to keep them on their toes.
Did Junior say anything? That was very quiet.
He looked. He definitely acknowledged it. And that's a perfect pop flash. ZywOo, first death conceded. A quick response, only the first. And so a man advantage.
Here comes the flank.
They need this. That's the flank. Masuda, despite being known, has managed to rustle some jimmies.
Absolutely locked in. He could even drop a smoke if they try and drop back here. Shox and Kyojin just need to live.
Going to be forced forward. The smokes are there on elevator. He's scavenging for more. Yuri wants to lock him out as best he can.
Oh, Masuda with the passive play. He's not hanging around to lock that door. FURIA are going to assume he's behind in the fork room. He's going to rotate over with his teammates. So a third man will be top of the site here for Vitality.
Kyojin tested truly here. Just playing with the angles against Yuri, and he is completely on his own for this. The bomb on the back of Junior. Only flashes to see safe passage of the explosives. Nice shots. Hot lead into Shox. Oh, spots him. Knows the default plan's coming in. He really wants to deal with Yuri, but he's giving him nothing. Suta has rotated around, yet to reveal his location, but they are both coming in now. Kyojin, nice first find, needs to clear out Yuri. Oh, damage. They're both incredibly low. And Masuda just gets a little lost in the exchange, concerned about ramp, and it does put the first onto the T-side FURIA board.
Yeah, a bit flustered. It looked like they had full control of that situation there, Vitality, but Masuda, when he dropped back, I think they were unawares of how many players were truly dedicated towards that A ramp position. He leant over towards the B bomb side, the bomb goes down, and unfortunately that smoke that we see thrown in the final phrase of this round, well, it hit his teammate Kyojin, so not landing on the bomb, not really facilitating that chaos we know for the A bomb site of Vertigo. And now Vitality will have to buy back in, and those AWPs, well, they are immediately out. 2 of which.
When your in-game leader just darts his head at you as the round goes down, I'm not sure how I feel about that one. Apex bring in the fight, and it's Trace of Fire, nades converting. We've lost an early man advantage. Okay, FURIA, haven't seen them work with one of these before.
Shox is the only man to deal with middle and the B bomb site right here, and he has that secondary AWP, so however he rotates right here, right now, will determine the round.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much of the round hinging on Shox's damage here.
Oh, he needs to be so careful.
Boost is safe. Rotations to How's middle. ZywOo, quite the potent defense. He sends himself out behind the smoke. Great find, and he even spots them. Movement gets him out of trouble. 12 kills to 1. ZywOo has been deadly, and now he's got his signature weapon as well. Kyojin with a very brave push. And they're into the site. Good grief. Art swinging on shots. He won't get the no-scope. ZywOo might try his best to delay. And the bodies are dropping. Kyojin and Masuta have chipped in nicely. A very early 2v2 here. And Yuri's bringing aggression. Does he want to go up? Oh, this duel will determine it all. Masuta staring at the smoke, and they actually opt to drop another. Now that will enable safe passage for Vinny. So loud about this. Not opting for that default plan. Yuri's been waiting for this fight this whole time. ZywOo's always alert, but that's perfect. And FURIA will snatch a second. There's 2 AWPs to be recovered. He's happily going to recover 1. Junior will be given the gift of that T-side Vertigo AWP. Right. There you go. They pass the test and convert the 4v5.
A big round to handle there as Vitality's economy is in question here. They will have to take a partial or a save going forward. But ZywOo has done his best to scramble through this, and it is very, very clear how heavily Vitality are playing to lock in these rotations. We've seen pushes through the ladder room. We've now seen pushes through A. And they're really, when they see FURIA, they are biting heavily. Yes. And they're trying to take away that territory for them to do the pendulum swinging back and forth. That's why they're flanking in such a fast fashion.
Should be nothing here. Their pop flash short was great for catching ZywOo previously, but it hasn't deterred him from sticking around. In fact... Oh, ZywOo actually gets away with murder! He was tagged up in the spray, now they want a triple swing.
Could get messy.
It could. Doesn't look like Caserato's interested at all. Well handled. Weapons for Kyojin, but they're right around the corner. He's probably not allowed to reload. Yeah, okay. Getting a bit weird at the end there. But FURIA deal with it. Couple of casualties. Caserato bails them out.
Well, the money there is in place for Vitality's buy. It won't be the double AWPs like we've previously seen. ZywOo can grab one if he'd like. It means lacking utility and all that good stuff. It's going to be 5 M4s. So as we start to stabilize into this first map here, FURIA are looking great. If they're able to topple these rifles, we're not looking at a huge amount of utility. There's only 2 Molotovs. They don't even have a smoke for shots. There's a real opportunity right now for FURIA to grab control of this first half here. Quick stuff over towards A again, and they want to biff one more time.
Yeah, this time it's up. Short-lived advantage, quick trade. ZywOo's sticking around. This is very brave. That smoke's got a timer on it. So is ZywOo's life. Wow, damage. Through to Scaff. Yuri working at just 22 points of health. They'd love to keep things level. And this is where FURIA do their best work. Early advantages, just take their time, group up. This death ball, very hard to find trades. But Masuta has provided. Shocks can't tame the spray. Vinny and Caserato, ears are ringing. Health is low. Only Kyojin, though. Oh, juggling weapons. 2. The audible cue. If he could just find this double, if they could get flustered, Junior's not having any of it. That's why you put the AK on the healthy member. Take that first swing, stop any of that surprise. 4-4 though, Chad. Seems like FURIA have got a T-side after all.
And this comes down to that raw skill, the heads-up Counter-Strike that we're talking about, right? Sure, there's the supplementary utility being used on the ramp to make life difficult, but that's going both ways. It really is just the biff in and around these smokes right now that have been the difference maker. In the early stages of the last 2 gun rounds, FURIA have gotten the advantage coming up a ramp, and then you can see how that pressure continues. Vitality want to fight it, they don't want to play retake, but they're losing out in these duels.
So I suppose this is the, you know, there's 2 sides to every coin. This is what happens when you want to contest ramp. You either win it, but you can also end up in a 5v3 in the first 10 seconds.
And a big part of that, unfortunately, just comes down to the smallest of timings, or if the individuals are at 100% on that day, right?
Well, we just saw that Apex Art head-to-head, and it was determined by M4 and AK.
Yeah.
You know, it was at 10 HP and dead.
It's the tiniest of details in a lot of these duels, and it's going to be difficult for Vitality to stabilize against that. Might have to see the AWP come back out. Kyojin's just been absolutely destroyed on that B bomb site, and Vinny taking all the liberties in the world. He'll have B site secured.
God, look how far I've pushed up he is. Shocks probably wasn't expecting that. 5 seconds had passed since Kyojin said B, and now, well, they're already pushed up and the bomb's ticking.
And that's when one of the problems for this half might start to spiral for Vitality. They are being tested over towards A. How do you fix that? Well, maybe throw more bodies. Where's going to be weak? The B bomb site, where the new kid on the block is. This is Vertigo, right? I don't care if you're, you know, a seasoned vet or if you're a newer player. Oh, I think he was thinking about it.
He was definitely playing with the idea.
This is still a map where no matter how much you've played it in officials, you're still never going to be hugely comfortable with it because the map is still evolving and changing. Not every time we see it played anymore, but it's still a lot of new things to be found and sort on out. Bomb will go off. 5th round as FURIA take the lead here. And they've been working on a bit of a bank of their own. Junior up to 10K now. And at the low end is Yuri with 4.5. So buys, plenty of them for FURIA down the line.
This was how it began and ended for Vitality defense. It was only pistols. But the fact that Art's hanging out in T-Spawn to fend off the rotate does perfectly embody how confident they were that that round was theirs. All the weapons, all the bells and whistles. Let's get this one started.
Need a Shock's frag about now. Currently sitting 0 kills, 2 assists and 7 deaths. He is a swing player, right? He supports that B side. He rotates early. His impact is needed. That early
really want to house that. You know, that first frag we saw right out of the gate from Apex.
But look how much utility they dump into it and they still lose the space. Now it comes down to these fights.
Masuta pushes on the flash and goes 1 for 1. ZywOo has to give up space now.
They might have to go again though, and they are.
They are, and it goes again, trading evenly. They're sticking around. They still want to fight. They're pushing this issue as sternly as they possibly can. Now it seems they're accepting of the space. FURIA will be allowed to set up. Kyojin falls back into a passive stance, and you spoke of Shocks. He has pushed B with an AWP.
This is going to get very dicey in the lower tunnels with an AWP. He can lock them in.
Yeah, from spawn, right?
Yeah, there's a power position to be found, but he could have slipped the net because still don't have all the info on FURIA just yet.
ZywOo's got a lot to do. You know, this is a round-winning position to be in. And Keisarato's the one to test the limits. Goes down, big find, and now Shocks can truly lock the door. And ZywOo's the one to slam it shut. Art's gone, only Junior. Known to clutch, we talked about the clutch factor. That of Henny. Can Junior match that very high bar set? ZywOo's too wise to be giving him that frag he so desires. He plays the AWP, he knows what Junior's looking for. And there's the finish. Shocks does find his first, and it seals the 5th. Keeping things nice and close.
Now, some of the T-side woes that people have been bringing up with FURIA and Junior specifically, you can talk about it in that type of a round. If the last player standing alive and the guy who hasn't actually been given an opportunity to look for too many fights is the AWPer, he's now left in a 1-on-3 situation with not a lot of information. We knew that ZywOo was short. He had an idea that somebody was flanking, right? So the questions are being asked, and you have the AWP. It's not like you're as mobile. You can't take all of these awkward fights you can get away with the rifles. So he grabs that kill right there, but there's so many trades that have already come in by that point. A big thumbs up for this round for both teams is consider the flash work. It was almost like almost every single one of those flashes was with a purpose. It was a swing, it was a fight, there was some form of duel facilitated by that utility work. And we are back underway here. 5-5 the scoreline. Both teams with a solid buy. No AWP, and maybe that mid push that we were prefacing could come in for FURIA. We know they love that pace. Bit of a ripcord they pull when things are looking dire.
It's B.
Kyojin, this is your test.
See what you got.
Oh, he's not on the side. Right now, he's mid-push again.
Yeah, and there's a good chance he'll get info early. Chance for Shocks. He's missed his
shots.
And Kyojin doesn't do the clear. Keisarato does get dinked. A good reactionary headshot, but it looks like the round is falling apart already. Shocks shot in the hip, already on the retreat. Might want to save it. Yeah, unless ZywOo happens. Molotov out of position. FURIA, just like that. Just like that.
Wasn't even the B kill that secured the round. It was just the deaths in middle. Lucky to be alive here, Keisarado. You can see him cowering around the back of the stairs in T-spawn, but the round is done. The job is done. And that's 6 for FURIA. So it wasn't the mix-up through middle that I was thinking was coming in, but just a swift B hit into that AWP as Shocks. Well-placed flashes, a couple of good smokes, and you're in.
What's your take on, and I don't know how well, how shared this opinion is, but I've definitely seen it come through community discussion about the map Vertigo. People say that they like to play it, but don't like to watch the pros play it. How can you theory craft as to where that mindset may come from? Are they still reminiscing about the 2 smokes, plan A, spray through smokes for the diffuse kind of gameplay? Or?
It could be the commentators who commentate the game and bring in their internal biases about the map and have not actually played it enough to really respect it. But
that's also
there
a
is that.
Yeah.
But I also think that when the pros do it, because the utility usage that most teams are used to is the A smokes followed by the Molotovs, it's very suffocating. What they're not respecting or not understanding is the type of Counter-Strike that we're seeing teams like Vitality, who are now more transition positional towards the top of that A ramp. It just asks for something different, right? It's not the flash fall back. It's almost like you get pushed back, well, you have to reinitiate. It's just a different style of having to play the CT side.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I think one of the ways I romanticize Counter-Strike is that each map has its own new, beautiful exchanges. You know, you don't have another map where you have this multi-layered, like, treat it like Long Dust 2, except it's a direct passage and the only passage into the site.
Yeah.
You're going to like have these flash re-aggressions. It's CT aggressions rewarded, but can determine rounds in the first 10 seconds. It's a very, very fruity. And now, Chad, you were around too early. We do see FURIA forging a path for early mid. And Art, look at him go through his own smoke with a flash and a frag. Masuta's gone, and alarm bells ring. 3 panicked CTs on the A site, and they set up to lock down the rotate. Vinny's already pressuring B. Caserato's slowly crawling the bomb towards Kyojin on stairs, or through mid himself. Vinny's already swinging into Kyojin. Good grief! That's a big find for him. ZywOo's kept him honest. Art's posted up on construction, and this gets awkward if the bomb does not go down. Kyojin, too much pressure, multiple angles, now through stairs. Shocks his rotate cut in half, and now only ZywOo. Very hard state of affairs. He's done very well to survive. Not only that, but find the frag, hunted now. And FURIA take a 7th. That had a couple of layers to it.
See the difference there? ZywOo left alive in a 1-on-3, gets the opening kill. Yuri, instead of giving him the space to work with, goes and takes that frag immediately. Does not allow ZywOo to set up, to isolate some fights. Just takes it to him while he's frothing around with his nades just here. But this is what you love from Art, right? This explosive nature. When you see that Molotov landing in middle, that's more to contain the CT push, but their plan is to extinguish that. They're selling you something, that eye candy that Yanko was talking about, right? Normally that Molotov is to contain, to go slower and then default control middle. Here they've just popped out in front of it.
ZywOo's got his AWP and he wants to fight. There's so many flashes. How is he so brave? He's often been caught off on the flashbang through that smoke, but this time, brazen as ever, and he maintains control. Okay, so that's step 1. As a CT side, step 1, ramp clear.
They bought the respect they were looking for here, right? So they can post ZywOo up with the AWP and rotate some forces over to bolster middle, to bolster B. Shock's right here in limbo. You can see just waiting for that call on where he needs to end on up. These FAMASs might become a little bit of a problem when defending the side against these AK-47s. Vinny getting boosted on up.
Yeah, a combination of the old and new in defense of B. Sharks could get caught out here. And he's even pulled the... Oh, dear! Hard! You did clip through, but as the pin was pulled, and just like that, the B defense collapses. Oh, with a double kill, double entry. There should be no way back in. Should, being the operative word, gives it a go. Masuta, one more perhaps from the CTs for hope. Caserato shatters that. And there you have it. An 8th. FURIA have won the T-half after, what was the grand total? 40 rounds yesterday? It's good to see them back in the driving seat.
And quite a disparity with the scores on the doors right here. I'm not sure how badly they wanted to take this AWP out of ZywOo's hands, but he's the only man fragging right here, right now for Vitality. 18 for him. The next closest is Masuta with 9. You go down the list, Apex with 6, Kyojin with 5, and then Shocks, unfortunately, still struggling with only 1. So ZywOo desperately needs to hold on to this if Vitality want to have any more CT-sided rounds here. Looks like they might let him live. They are slowly creeping on in to his general direction, but he will have to be noisy about it. Here comes Art. Footsteps are going to be heard. Bomb's about to go off. ZywOo, seen the hot bullets are coming through. And he holds on to the AWP. Art getting a bit cheeky there with the knife out on the jiggles.
This was a real horrible state of affairs for Shocks. Like, it is just timing. You know, you talked about those small margins on A ramp. Well, there's another one. I do wish that clipping would be fixed because it's such a clearly intentioned part of the B take, like boosting up towards that, and yeah.
That's one of the hardest ones to get over, right? Because he's made the play to be in the right place, right? And that's just, it is honestly a millisecond difference. And a millisecond, well, we're back into this round and Shocks is already dead, so that frustration is going to continue.
I hope he reinforced his desk because he's going to be slamming that one.
Yeah, well, I think we're used to the jovial, funny Shocks, right? But the serious side, when things aren't going well, when he's not having a great game, he's one of the veterans of this team.
Well, even when playoffs are just within touching distance as well, you know, your own decision-making, your impact over the outcome. Caserato's playing a dangerous game here, trying to bait that they haven't lost control of that stairs position. They're not gonna clip Vinny. Baited in perfectly. Kyojin, hook, line, and sinker. And they're done. Look at them work. Vinny, by virtue of Caserato, finds 3.
Yeah, this CT half is sinking very quickly here for the French. This has to be 9. I don't know how Vitality can risk going for this, especially with Apex about to lose his head. Yuri lying in wait. He'll take those every day of the week, and now it's a save simulator for ZywOo one more time.
I want to celebrate.
How many more exit kills can he get to pad those 20 frags he already has?
Look at the hunting party. Like, this minimap is a gross survival simulator. Welcome to Battle Royale, Vertigo. ZywOo, hunted by the zombies. Peeks in, and there he goes. FURIA not only posting 9, but sending them back to, well, it's not the Stone Age. I call it Bronze Age. I think they've got some sharpened tools, for sure.
There might be a buckler in the mix.
A buckler? Yeah. Yes. Oh, indeed.
A broadsword of some variety. But yeah, their buy is going to be rubbish, realistically, for this final round.
That was the first onto Shocks, but then this bait, Kyojin just walking into his own demise, round-winning stuff from FURIA, and they didn't really have to push a sight. This was all just through patience and a little bit of mind games. We're off, and they're already out. Here we go. Chad pieced this one together because Apex has just charged straight through. This time he's found Art. Kyojin delivers with one as well. No trades from FURIA. Okay, well, that's a very different state of affairs for our final round of our first half.
Yeah, you say different maker, really. Like, they actually get the opening kills in their favor for once. So 9-6 on the nose, a pistol win once we get back from that ab break. Maybe we're having a different conversation here, but Vinny, I want to change that. Oh, again, Vinny just onto B. 2 more kills. It's open for business.
No. Vitality cannot let this slip, and Masuta, one more frag away, but Yuri, he's come to play. A winnable 1v2 and loads of time to do it. Take your time. He has a smoke. That's a good inkling as to where he might find Apex, and that was his duel. It's gone down, though, and the French will take 6. 9 for the South Americans as we ready ourselves for our second half. Don't go too far. This one's only just getting going. Well, already emotions running high as playoffs are on the line. Do or die, sink or swim. Vitality and FURIA duking it out here on Vertigo. It was the FURIA pick, and they certainly justified it with quite the solid start. That was T-side, the accrued 9, Chad.
Yeah, and it felt like Vitality had a decent game plan to try and contain them, but never really able to get the full lid on as Art uncaged, unleashed. The furious Art was all over the place with the entry frags throughout that one.
There. Don't think I did.
ZywOo, 21 for him. A couple of those were exits, but he needs a teammate to step on up, and Shox, the other veteran, has been quiet as we get this one underway.
Yeah, I don't know if ZywOo could do much more, but on the T side,
certainly not
out of the question. Smokes are already landing. That could be that flub boost that loses them short. It loses them 2. Make it 3. ZywOo once again springs to action and has secured Vitality around. A quick double. Nothing you can do, Art. He lets them know where he's coming from with a nade for nothing. And yeah, just a formality now for the artistic one.
Artsy, I think, is your favorite term.
Yeah, I like to be a bit artsy, mate. Oh, it just takes me straight back to like my nan.
Oh, you're being a bit artsy.
Being a bit artsy, yeah. It's like, yeah, so if you wanted to patronize a creative outlet as best as you could, that would be
artsy.
Yeah. When someone's trying to express themselves, let's call it artsy.
That was fantastic, though, the pace from Vitality. And one of the conversations that you and I had in our little carpool into work today was we were expecting some explosive CS, right?
Yeah.
Now, I was saying, who do you think is going to be more passive? If we're thinking Vitality, are they going to be the more passive team with the Counter-Strike we've seen them play recently? Right, we're in for an action-packed day of CS. These guys, they love the W key. And those 4 MAC-10s, well, that's another indication of exactly that. Shox onto the AK. Everybody else onto the Mackie 10s, and, well, out mid they go.
There's a whole stack here. This could get awkward if they don't maintain. All right.
It's the reverse of the MP9 mid. It's called the MAC-10 mid.
Yeah, with the Ts.
And seems to work just as well, because that one is done, dusted, and the rifles are out. So they like it quick over here in the opening match of the day, and so do we.
Chad, Theorycraft, you are Apex, you are Xtaz, and you have the triple MAC-10 bonus round. You're sending them up short.
I would like mid again, to be completely honest with you. A couple of well-placed bits of utility. I think any of these avenues are great. The reason I wouldn't, go straight in towards B is a molly on the stairs. Maybe you stumble over each other. Maybe you're running through a smoke. The rifle at range from back of sight can take you out. You know that A is going to be a bit of a cluster muck, right? You're going to have the deep smokes, the mollies, the everything going on. I say mollies. There's only one of them in Queserado's hands. So maybe not, right? But either way, you can definitely keep those 3 MAC-10s out and keep the pace up. Because what are we looking at here? There's Vinny and Art without the head armor.
Like, this will be a conversation FURIA are having as well, right? Like, they know they just lost to at least 2 MAC-10s. They may not have counted 3, but they can assume and make a safe assumption that there's not going to be a reinvestment.
So might see either them a bit more heavier with the jewels they want to take as a pack, hoping they trade efficiently, or a bit more passive, hoping they can draw the MAC-10s in. But it is over towards the B bomb site for Kyojin. Even default round with the MAC-10s could be viable.
Double flash for the stairs. Control, and Queserato is so blind. He did fire off a shot. He's lost them. Or have they lost him? Oh, and off the flash, ZywOo tucks into the smoke, but he's behind them. I don't think they know, Chad.
Uh-oh.
I don't think they have a clue.
This is huge.
Queserato's about to completely ruin this round unless Masuta... Uh-oh! Disaster strikes all over the shop. Masuta's burnt down to a crisp. Kyojin's alive, and now only Art looking to thrive above the box for the first. And Shox, it seems like Art's worked it out, at least anticipating presence middle. He's opted for CT. Will Art piece this together? I think he is. Oh, Art, magnificent recovery. I thought Queserato had not provided enough, but just enough. Kyojin accidentally catching Masuta on the molly as well. That was a very hectic 20 seconds.
Yeah, and I think that FURIA, they're going to be happy with the round, but not happy with how many survived at the end of that round. Vitality in the whole fray of this. Look, kills were going on everywhere, right? We had this whole kerfuffle over towards B. We had the team Molotov. We had the rotations coming in. And then eventually it settled into that one-on-one scenario. But the problem here, with Art being the only man to survive, is cash. And they need to make these drops work. Vitality, yeah, you can see it again. Just nothing's going Shox's way here today. Not in the room with the team, can't really have them pull him out of his own head. Something he's going to have to do himself here.
He needs some shoulder rubs. That's what he's missing.
Yeah, well, maybe he can get... I think he's with the family, right? You can bring him in.
Yeah.
Get the cheerleading squad out there. But this is where the buy is better for Vitality. Look at what the purchase has been for FURIA. They've actually gone for 2 MP7s. Now, It's not traditional.
We can almost consider that last round a win, just by virtue of it being a 1v1. Obviously, Vitality would much rather have a 9th than a slightly less good CT economy, but this is an opportunity they've created as a product of the Mac 10 1v1.
Yeah, break him here, we'll be tied up at 10-10. Everything will be forgotten.
Oh, Apex is trying to do what worked so well for Art. Kyojin actually catching an early frag. He'll love that. And the pressure is very gruesome. Vinny uses a smoke very defensively. He's being swung on, and it's not a great weapon for the job. Masuta forges a path into B. Bomb's already going down. Smokes are blooming.
Save call.
Save what you can, but Apex may not let you. Oh, peeks out and takes Yuri's AK away. Or rather, rifle, should say. It's now just a scout and an MP7. And the hunt continues.
He's playing with the in-game leader brain right there. Knows he has 1 kill, knows that he's low, doesn't want to give up an AK-47. If they hold on to a scout and the MP7, it's really not the end of the world to be playing against what will likely be a FURIA force buy in the next. Art's having a look on in, seeing if they can find Apex, but he's out of there. He don't want anything to do with it. It's just going to be these two chilling out. I think they'll allow them to save, right? Just let them keep it. Found the M4, so that's an upgrade for Junior, getting away from the scout. And that is the 9th. So this is where Vitality, they are going up against what should be a very hamstrung buy of FURIA. This should be the 10th. It just depends on what the financial situation looks like. Kyojin, bit sketchy there for moments, but flashed on up, converts the frag. Masuda seals the deal with that one onto Vinny. And it looks like FURIA are actually opting to eco, so they don't want to force buy in behind the 2 saved guns. It will just be Junior and Art wielding the upgrades.
Keeping this clean then becomes the priority.
Junior's all on his own here. So if he drops this, it cannot be picked up. They're hoping for multiple kills out of Junior in this environment. He might get away with it.
ZywOo is doing his due diligence, and his intuition was just a second too slow, and it should cost him his life. There he goes. Trade. Not to be. Go on, Junior, my son. Triple before he shut down, and now what was supposed to just be a little bonus. A couple of save rifles could convert. Art's on default. Looks like the trajectory's been calculated. He is dunked down to 50. Galil to finish it over the smoke, though. That's not him. Will they call it clear? Lurking on that smoke. They're trying to retreat. Art doesn't spot it. But the flank is on its way. 2 AKs in hot pursuit. And they're loud about it. Queserato knows they're coming. And already the first and the second delivered. Oh dear, Vitality collapse, and Junior given a complete and total impossible mission.
Yeah, that is insane that he walks away with 3 kills in that type of a situation. He was on his own, there was nobody baiting for him, there was no flashes, there was none of that to support in this mission. Finds the timing onto ZywOo, just spammed all 30 bullets, and then converting this 3rd frag. Big thumbs up there, Masuda with all the advantages in the world looking on down. And easy for Queserato.
That's going to really, really hamper the Vitality T side. There's the shoulder rubs we were talking about. Someone gets some at least.
Have a little bit of a tech issue here, just a mic problem we will be fixing, so bear with us one moment. We can get the action back underway ASAP. But at this point, what I was talking about with all being tied up, the conversation changes. FURIA had 3 players on a save there. Not only did they get a couple of upgrades, right? They still had residual cash to buy on in. Art's even still on that MP7, right? He's still rocking that bad boy right there. So he feels no need right now to upgrade, and it makes sense with a player like Art. I'm sure we're about to see him rushing somewhere. W key being held the entire way. And the buy for Vitality, yeah, the AKs are out. ZywOo into the Galil, utility there, but loss bonus at 1900 going into the next. They need to win this round if they want to keep their head above water here. Looks like the default spread. Both teams exchanging their smokes on the A ramp. Spam on down, just some warning shots, but Apex, he went through. And that's one of the easiest kills I think you'll see Yuri get in a while.
Ooh, that flash seems destined for greatness. They're ahead of it, and that's one. Yuri's found as well. Junior standing his ground, does land something. 1 frag to his name so far. Queserato a little worse for wear. Junior is going to have to tuck into a more passive line. They concede short.
Queserato's heavy rotated out of the B bomb site right now. He's found himself in spawn having to deal with this mid position. The bomb on the back of Shox is slowly making its way. the tail that follows of Zawu and Masuda will be there to help this out. But Junior looking for more information now, has just been flashed in for a short pick. The timing on this, will they be there before Vinny realizes? I think they're both getting a rotate on now, so FURIA are going to be here. They'll be ready for this play.
Yeah, they do use Keserato though, and that is an issue. They have 2 smokes. They can completely lock down the site. Molly as well for construction. Vinny has to respect it. Smokes are up.
Oof. Okay, I thought they would be there. I thought they would get there just in time, but the utility usage was on point. Vitality weren't caught off guard by that fast rotate. And they do secure what will be the 10th, as we can see Vinny and Junior just want to save. So we are back and forth in this one. And a lot seems to be determined over towards this A ramp, right, in both halves so far. When the early kills come in, it's not what you were talking about earlier, where the people at home don't love watching just the spam battles through the smokes on A, right? You get the left side smoke, the right side smoke, a couple of mollies, and just, that's it, it's spam. Yeah. It's all just smoke, you don't see anything. We're not getting that action here. We're getting a bit more forward play. And both teams are happy to stay in motion throughout. It's not just sit and park in the bus. We're not watching a Virtus Pro type scenario here.
But yeah, you know, I would argue that Yuri's purpose was perfectly displayed in that one. Like, I think that his movements in those early 20 seconds when he's got an SMG friend who wants to walk up on the smoke is just to catch anyone walking up with a jiggle on crane.
Yeah, grab that crosshair, send it to the sky.
Precisely, precisely. Saw the way Jane played that clutch as well. It was on Reddit. You see how he was just ratting that elevator, that little bit of extra lip just so you can bait a shot. Oh, run boost. They're sending Zawu around for an early frag, and he's got it. Just
easy
like
that.
B site's open for business. You got any more for us? Spots one cross default. Vinny's under a lot of scrutiny. There is a supportive AWP in play, and Junior reveals it. That's going to get the CTs very angsty. And it looks like the rest of Vitality are on the way to try and convert off the back of this, but Vinny swings out, catches Zawu just down to 31. And through middle, Junior, he's doing everything right now. He can even find a third. There's a gap to work with, but his back is spotted. Losing his vision, losing his life, and it could very well translate into a lost round as well. More likely to go for this one. And Masuda going down early, as does Apex. Suddenly, the clutch is demanded of Zawu. He started this round, now he has to finish it. They've smoked him off, flashed him off. Crosshair placement's everything for this. And there you have it, folks. FURIA, a successful 2v3 retake off the back of Art. Vinny present as well. And Junior, some credit to be given. If he doesn't find at least 2, he dealt with mid, he dealt with one on towards the B side of things. That's broken Vitality.
And you can understand why Vitality wanted to force the issue into the B bomb site, at least for the first, let's say, 10 to 15 seconds after Zawu gets this opening kill, is because there's been so much pestering over towards A, right? They get the entry onto Keserato. They're going to only assume that there's one player rotating in from middle. But there was already 2 players on the site. They're just making things awkward. Shox goes down, that's identified. Maybe the call's coming through late, and the frustration is really starting to build for Shox here. Having a rough go of it. Zawu's on 30, Shox is on 4.
I know they're very emotive people, but if my teammate was looking like that, if I had the webcam on a second screen, I'd be like, should we take a timeout? Let's just take 30 seconds. Let's just have a little conversation. Maybe we don't say anything.
My teammates must have hated me then when we were playing. Jesus.
Yeah, well, you know as well as I do that having a teammate face palming at the screen and sighing and then muting his microphone is almost as bad as having them emotive and visibly upset.
Do it these days just to trigger rush. It's some of the most fun I have on a Friday night.
Flashes mid, Kyojin with his Desert Eagle and a Dream.
They're forced into this. Vitality don't want to allow this CT economy to build.
That's a very suspicious smoke. Art's peeking over. Oh, loses his life on that one, a bit too wide. And a boost established over that ramp smoke has given him one. This could be another. Vinny does well to find a head. But a triple peek on middle, that's going to get the CT scarpering. Keserato wants information, and he's brave. Look at that. Immediately confirms there's nothing to be concerned about middle. And they silently descend the ladder.
Junior and Yuri are still lingering over towards this A bomb site and clawing on back information slowly with that scope. Both tucked into the short position. The gamble stack on A. Keserato's coming on as well. This is going to be a 4-on-3 on the A bomb site. The brawl's about to go down.
Only one smoke for the T's. And now they've lost Kyojin. There's no smoke unless they pick it up. Doesn't matter when Yuri's got heads. 2 in the same spray. And Apex is gone too. Okay, the mood only going to be soured even further with a defense like that. Solid play across the board. Junior with one, but Yuri's double.
And once again, right, just for the mindset of what's going on in Vitality's camp there, they killed Junior, right? There's nobody immediately there to trade. It's not two players facing. They kill Junior, they trade him out. And then, of course, you're going to start running into this. There's still two other areas on the map completely undefended, middle and B. You're not going to assume that another player is so up close and personal. FURIA took a risk, it paid off, and they find themselves in the driver's seat of map number 1. Round number 14 should be guaranteed here. Just a couple of P250s. Deagle for ZywOo. There's a flash in the mix, but they're going to have to hit more than just one banger.
Yeah. Far, far from the realms of possibility here. Their Glock's clearly viable. They've hit a couple of heads, unfortunately. Helmets across the board.
Anything that Vitality can get out of this is great. If they can just keep it interesting. A clean round would be confidence boosting and bank boosting for FURIA.
Junior, you're so brave. And Kyojin does actually catch one. Art's gone down. And another provided. Masuta's got the headies. It's enough to put 2 people on the rebuy. If ZywOo could just find one more, he can take his time with this. That headshot fight is not fun. And Yuri confirms he's close. A flash for one more frag. Go on! That's a big one! ZywOo, such a threat. Lord almighty. You can see Vinny's face. It's like, okay, whatever we do, just don't give him a chance.
It almost felt like time stood still for a moment there.
Off
because
the flash.
ZywOo was just like, hold up, I'm just going to take a little bit extra.
Is that your head over there? Let me just make sure I get it.
Pop, bang. Oh, so close.
I want to see that again. Here you go. A gift from the replay gods. Just look how long he gets to take on the second shot. He's like, yep. Yep. Oh, those are wild.
Even gets the crosshair back into the right place, and Vinny's onto the USP at that point, right?
I was about to rip my headset off my face.
That was a ZywOo moment, almost.
Nearly. Well, he is rocking 125 ADR, 32 with the large scoreboard on your screens. You can also see the round recap, and this is a great example and a quick summary as where Vitality's funds have been going. You can see there's never really stringing together more than 2.
Yeah, and that's from the pistol, right? Where the loss bonus slash, win bonus is almost the most inconsequential.
This is a big round now. They have kept CT's economy relatively respectable. Missed incendiaries, an SMG. They need to twist the knife a little here, Vitality. Otherwise, FURIA are about to snatch away their map pick. A boost. Interesting. Going to give them a better elevated line of sight onto that walk-up.
Yeah, you're not really expecting to have to jiggle there, right? More worried about the sandbag position, and if somebody's playing on that ledge, they can't see as much as what Yuri can right now. Seems to be the boost criminal. We might get to see it in action.
Let's see how their flight path works out. Yeah, it's as they're clearing the sandbags and they get a run boost into shorts.
Don't think they meant to do that.
I know, but it looks cool. You and Rush are going to be doing that all over the shop.
Oh, this is still going to get awkward, right? They're pinned over towards short. They're spamming through. The T's now know what they're dealing with. Bullets through the boards, not landing much damage whatsoever. As this could be the fight that determines the round here.
Yeah, this is the fight. That's the flash. Art's safe from it. Oh, good grief. There is a break point that's about to be reached. It's ZywOo. Gets caught off, but still finds the frag. Trade needed. Kyojin provides. Okay, 3-on-3. Charging into A. Smokes are up on left side of sight. A missed shot from Junior gives a new lease of life to that sandbags player. Masuta lives on. Bomb down now. Flashes for the way out. Might need to deploy them. Wallbangs, the only real way to force them off that default spot. We know it's powerful, and Kyojin demonstrates as to why. Still on that default box. Shocks in support. Just survival on these box. FURIA showed us how powerful it was. But he's gone now, and so is the spray from Shocks. He's having a nightmare. FURIA retake, 15 found, and Vitality, they're running out of chances now.
Yeah, and they've had their chance to convert a couple of these. FURIA just looking too good. And you bang on there with that sight, that power position. FURIA were the ones, I think it was Yuri who was using a lot on those sight plants just to show how powerful it is late. Here's another little boost looking for you. You can just see on the lip there of the crane. Yeah. That makes life a little bit easier, doesn't it? I can't believe ZywOo walked away with that kill onto Art. Felt like he was dead to rights right there. Good trade from Kyojin as well, but not enough. And, well, the plant came down. The buy comes through. Masuta onto a Tech-9 utility, very light. There are AKs in play, but this could be the last hurrah for Vitality in map number 1.
Apex. testing his limits.
Whatever they do here, it's almost an all-in with this light util, and this sandbag position being pulled out now is perfect. They are light on nades. They only have 2 Molotovs here, and where do they want to prioritize them? In a round like this, has the call really come out for a sandbags play?
Art can check the crane jump up as well from that sandbags position, just through the gap, which is what you see him doing there.
They're looking, they're staring at him.
Yeah, well, as I always considered that there's no one. Oh my God, look how much control they've got. Art does get the first, but now they know. Good find. Yuri, another. Miss from Junior, but now a chance, a small one for Vitality to survive here. Shox would have to come up huge. He came into this round with 4 frags. He'd need another 2. Double his score. Very late on the flash. Oh, an info. Masuta confirms. 1 on the flank. It's 2v3. They can shape this up, but it comes down to these 2 individuals. Make it 1. Only Masuta, and he's hunted down. FURIA will take Vertigo. Open and shut case, and looking strong. It was a 9T rounds they managed to convert here on the defense. Vertigo flying the FURIA flag, and 1 step closer to a spot in the playoffs.